Well, this is nice. I'm finally back. I'm sure my, 3 fans are happy. So, it's been a very long time, and I've been very lazy, and I'm sorry for not uploading. But I'm gonna try and upload. I'll try to stick to my promise of uploading weekly, but I really don't think it's gonna be possible. However, maybe once every couple of weeks, once a month, I'll try and upload something nice. This year, hopefully, I'm also gonna do some gaming tutorials, not tutorials, gaming videos as well, and some other art. I've got some good projects planned for the future, so make sure to subscribe and stick around. So we're making Hierophant Green from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and for those of you who don't know what it is, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an anime which is really good. It's about, well, every series takes place in a different time, and it's following the adventures of, it's always the same, one person from the same family, and they're all called JoJo. And so, this is a power called a stand. They're like physical manifestations of powers, and I'm making it out of clay. It's from season 3 of it. So right now I'm working on the wire exoskeleton. No, not exoskeleton. Wire skeleton, wire frame for it. This character doesn't really have, well, it does have legs, but I'm making it because it sometimes also has sort of a snake tail almost. It can unravel itself, and so I've decided to do it with that. By the way, I'm very sorry, you may see in the background my brother appearing with no shirt. I told him to get out of the background, but he didn't listen, so now we're stuck with this through the videos. I'm very sorry about that. I think he's watching something or playing video games in the background. So there isn't really much I can do to edit that out, even though I tried. So, it's not much, but I'm sorry in advance to anyone who might watch this. So we're nearly done with the skeleton. Just a little bit more. You have to really make the wire tight when you make these skeletons, otherwise they just completely fall apart, which is a shame. It's happened to me before. I've had to use a lot of tape to fix them. So there, now we're done with the skeleton. So we've got some clay to mix to make just the right amount of green. So if you're following this tutorial, don't mix it completely till you get one solid color. Mix it until it's sort of not a gradient, but until there's like lots of different colors. You can see how there's sort of not a pattern, but you can see the different colors laced together, because that's sort of what it looks like. I know it looks like I'm using blue, but I'm just using different shades of green. My camera was a bit weird. Don't really know how to change the picture quality or anything, so I'm afraid we'll have to stick with this for now. It's a new webcam that I got, so I'm still working it out. Also, another reason I haven't been uploading much, I got a cat, so I'll show him to you at the end of the video. I'm sure he'd love to say hello. So just like that, mix a pickle out of clay. Funny I've ever seen. So after you've, I'm sorry about the very bad humor. Alright. So now you, now this is the interesting part. You just take off the clay and wrap it around the skeleton. I was not very prepared for this, so I don't have that much, but you can put in as much as you can. So just sort of make, you just sort of you'll see, but just wrap it all around the model, and that should be alright. The head is sort of, it looks like a watermelon, so I'm going to put that on a stick for now and work on it later. So this is really just me wrapping it around, so I'll take some time to discuss what I might do for future tutorials. So, a while ago, I was requested by a viewer to do a location from the game Fortnite, and I thought that's a really nice idea, but, so I never got around to doing it, but I've decided to do a different location now. I've ordered the clay to make it, so it should arrive soon. But I'm still stuck inside, and the delivery service is not working very well, but hopefully it will arrive pretty soon. So it's going to be the agency, which is a location from the new season. It's like a spy building. You'll see more when the tutorial comes. I'm also planning to do some fish from Subnautica. This has got nothing to do with PewDiePie playing it. I just started playing it because I thought it looked fun, and I saw Jacksepticeye play it. And so I thought I should do something from Subnautica, that would be really nice. So I'm going to make a fish tank probably with real water, but with little clay fish. But we'll see, I might not get around to it. I have to see what clay I have, because it's difficult to get hold of all of it. I live in Italy, so it's even harder. So now we're making the spine of Hierophant green. It doesn't really show at the end, but it just looks nice. I would honestly do this later, but too late. Also, I made the front, so I made it look more muscular, because that's what it looks like. Now I'm rolling out more to make the tail. This is a very difficult part. So after you, oh wait, no, is this the arms or the tail? I'm very sorry, none of these videos are scripted and I don't really know what to say. But yeah, now I'm just making the arms. Later on it gets a lot more detailed, so stick around even if you're not particularly enjoying this bit. So, this is my first JoJo tutorial, but hopefully there'll be more in the future if you enjoy this one. I'm trying to, also, an important announcement, I don't know why I thought of this, I now have a Discord and a subreddit. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use them for yet, but I'll put the link to both of them in the description. You can join if you want. I guess on the subreddit you can post memes, and if you follow my tutorials you could post pictures of your models that you've made. Although I'm guessing most of my viewers don't follow them, they just watch these. But I'm sorry for being away for so long. I'm not dead. I'm here. So I guess that's good. I've been making lots of preparations. It's going to be a good year, hopefully, in terms of the channel. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the year itself. So, back to the creation. We're mixing a little bit more clay to make the tail thingy. I ran out of clay at this point, so I just had to use one solid colour sadly, but it still looks nice at the end. So, also you may, throughout this video, see like a wooden base pop up. Not pop up, but you might see a wooden base. That's nothing. I was originally planning to have the model rest on a base, but it didn't really work out in the end. And my editing skills aren't amazing, so I couldn't really get rid of it. But hopefully you still enjoy. So other things to say. I don't really have much else. So now you'll have to straighten the arms and put the clay around the tail. I'm really sorry if this is boring. You're welcome to skip ahead. Oh yeah, shout-outs. So I have a couple of important channels to shout out. Number one of my friend's channels. The channel name I think is Entity. He does gaming videos and reacts to stuff. He's very good. You should subscribe to him. And another friend who hasn't really uploaded recently, but 1000 Dragons, she does drawing tutorials, and it might be nice to go and subscribe to both of them. But your choice, whatever. Also, Clay Claim is another clay channel who's the inspiration behind most of my models. Not models, but this entire channel. So please go and subscribe to him if you're not already. That's about it for shoutouts. So back on the creation, just putting more clay around the tail bit until it's completely covered. Later on, this bit is very difficult because it has some armor on it, but it's hard to build. A lot of this is it's one of the more detailed models that I've done. Just so everyone knows, these models that I made in the tutorials aren't the only clay models I've made. I've got more, but I've made them off camera, and I made them before I started this channel. So if you'd like a tour of all my clay models, just comment down below, and I'll do one. Another thing, because of recently YouTube's new rules surrounding copyright and the FTC, basically I have to mark my videos for adults, otherwise basically no one can find them. So be advised, these videos are marked as for adults, but they're for anyone to watch. They don't have an age rating or anything. So anyone's welcome to enjoy these. Don't listen to YouTube, they're idiots. Hey YouTube, if you're watching this, you suck. So also thinking about the censored virus. Please don't necessarily follow my clay tutorials, but please stay at home, try to entertain yourself, play video games, whatever, but help the world. Don't be one of those stupid people who's like, oh, it's just a cold, I'll be fine. There's other people who will die from it. Unfortunately, because YouTube has no brain, or the people who make it, I'm not allowed to mention what this censored virus is. So, just you'll probably know what I'm talking about. So now we're on to a more interesting part. So also, you may not have noticed, but I put the I put the model into the oven to harden the green part. So now I'm doing like all of the silver armor around it. So it has like a mask on its head. It actually has a mouth underneath in the manga of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but not the anime. I'm not making a mouth underneath because it's pointless. You can't take off the mask, and you only see it once. So you need lots more silver clay to do this, and you really don't need that much, but silver clay is always a useful thing to have. By the way, I may have mentioned this already, but I'm planning a lot more models for the future, and I'm already working on one. So I'm planning to do the agency from Fortnite, but that's probably going to be in a couple of weeks, that tutorial. But in the meantime, I'm working on something a bit unusual and interesting. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a game called Subnautica, which is like an underwater survival game. It's really fun, I recommend you try it. And I'm making a scene from that inside a jar with actual water. So, that's probably going to be coming out in a couple of days. So, stay tuned. Maybe not in a couple of days, but probably next week, or yeah, probably next weekend. But stay tuned and hit the notification bell if you want to know when it comes out. So now we're working on sort of like the core bit. Well, not a core bit, but it's like on his chest he has this little ball inside a hoop, and not a hoop, like inside a. I can't even explain what it is. So I'm using my the tool with the ball to help make it, and I'm just putting the ball inside and attaching it to the model. So now he has sort of like shoulder armor. So for that you just need to get 3 strips of silver clay, attach them. It took me a while to attach them because my silver clay is a bit old and crumbly, but if you're following this tutorial, hopefully you'll have some better clay and you'll be able to do this with ease. So now putting another more shoulder armor on the other side. This is quite an important part of the model because it's one of the things that makes it look cool, in my opinion. But yeah, that's about it. I've got nothing else to say about that. It's quite a difficult bit because you have to make long strips without them breaking. But hopefully anyone doing this could overcome it. It's not that hard. So now we're making metal underpants, I would call them, for the model. I don't know what they are, but I'm gonna call them metal underpants. So for these you just need more silver clay, and you need to make sort of a. That's it. So that's the body, the armor on the body done. This bit is very difficult. You have to make the armor for the legs. So for that you really just have to flatten out a big sheet of silver clay, cut some random holes in it, but it's hard to attach it to the tails, and later on when I put this in the oven, it did come off a lot of times, so I don't have any super glue, but so it was difficult to fix. By the way, if you are following this as an actual tutorial, make sure you have some super glue. I don't have any, and that really is, a lot of my models break in the oven, which is quite a common thing, and sometimes they just need reinforcements, so I would recommend using super glue if you have any. Just a recommendation though, do what you want. So we're just cutting some random shapes like rectangles and circles and hexagons into the sheet of silver clay, and then cutting it in half so that there's enough to stick on the legs. Not legs, whatever it is, the tail. And now we're just going to attach it. So let me think. More announcements. I don't have any more announcements. Just keep working on the. If you're doing the tutorial, if you're following this, you just have to keep working on the tail bit. So I don't think that. Well, the pattern does actually stretch to the end of the tail, but I didn't have quite. Well, I made it stretch to the end of the tail, but this doesn't look a lot like this pattern on the tail. Doesn't look a lot like the one in the anime. You can Google that if you want, but it's still alright. So now I attach the head. And now we're doing the hands. The hands are quite annoying to build because they always fall apart and you have to build little dainty fingers to attach to them. And also, this character, he's in quite a difficult position that I'm trying to do. He's doing an attack called the Emerald Splash, which is emeralds shooting out of his hands. And so we have to make his hands in sort of a Kamehameha position, if anyone gets that reference. You have to put them in sort of a cupped position facing forward. And so that's quite a difficult position to make. Mine fell off several times. He also has little holes on his hands where I think the emeralds come out of, but I'm not sure exactly. So after you've done the hands, you can put it back in the oven. When you put it in the oven, I recommend for maybe like 20 minutes, 25 minutes at 110 degrees Celsius in the oven, the fan oven. I don't know how you'd say it. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like the symbol, it has one line above and one line below, and like a circle in the middle or a fan or however your oven has it. That's the best setting to put it in. So now we're making the second hand, which is exactly the same as doing the first. These hands have like an armor plate on the back, a silver armor plate, which makes them a little bit more difficult to do as well. But again, it's alright. Oh wait, no, sorry, we're not doing the hands anymore. We're doing the emeralds. So he shoots emeralds out of his hands, as I said. So I'm making a few of those. I'm going to attach them to wires and stick them out of his hands. This didn't go so well for me because, again, I ran out of super glue, but the end result looked alright. So there is that. Also, if you have any transparent polish, like glossy varnish, that's a very good thing to put on some of your models. If they're like, it depends. But for example, I made some characters from Bendy in the ink machine, and of course they're made of ink, so I put some varnish on them and that looked really good. So if you have, I have some of that and I use it in this video, but if you have some of that and you're following this tutorial, I really recommend that you use it. So now we're cutting some more wire. I couldn't find any scissors, and so I'm just using my scalpel, but use some scissors or wire cutters. And just cut the wire. So this is to stick on the emeralds, if you haven't noticed. Oh, I haven't stuck it on yet, but I think I might have cut. Did I cut out me putting the hands on the model? Oh yeah, I haven't put them on yet. So I've put them on a couple of times just to try it out, but I'm not gonna put them on until they come out of the oven. So now I'm just going at some arm armor. It's very simple. It's just some silver chunks. That's all you really need. And then putting the hands on again to see what it looks like. No, I think I did put them on in the oven, but they kind of fell apart. I've done like some work to repair it off camera, but all of the stuff you need for the tutorial is here. So now I can just sit it next to my camera and continue making it. If you ever see some writing or something and it looks mirrored, it's because I'm technically using a streamer webcam, like a recording, like a face cam to record this, because it's a very good one that I got recently for Christmas, and it's better than just attaching a phone to a hands-free car thing and sticking it to a box of Naruto mangas. So yeah, it's a good idea to get a camera. So hopefully I'll try and get better streaming gear, not streaming, but just better gear in general, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be the next Clay Claim. So now we've put it in the oven and we're taking it out. This is very quick. All you need to do is, I'm just applying some varnish to the thing to make it to the model to make it look shinier. I tried not to put it on the silver because you don't really need to put it there. And that's about it. You just have, now I'm just attaching the emeralds to the hands, which is quite a long and tedious process. I tried to attach them during the oven, but they all fell off. So I just super glued them on, but I ran out of super glue really quickly because somebody threw away my big bottle of super glue, so I just had a tiny one, which ran out after about 5 seconds. So that sucks, but it still looked good at least. So after several minutes of putting on one emerald at a time, I finally got it done. So that was alright. So just a few more. I think he has like 5 or 6. But usually there's a ton of them, but I'm not that good to be able to attach so many. So quick message: if you have, while I'm putting all these emeralds on, if you have any ideas for a video that you'd want me to do, like anything you'd like me to create, any games you'd like me to play, please feel free to write it in the comments. So this is about it. A couple more emeralds, and right now we've got some music back on. Just a tad longer, and I think, yep, that's about it. Hierophant Green from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I said in the video that I would show you my cat, so here he is. Say hello to Dashi. I guess he doesn't really want to be here, but I'm very sorry for not uploading very much, and I'll try to get back on like once every 2 weeks uploading. Try to get back on that kind of upload schedule. Oh my god, he almost just trod on my stop filming button, so that was close. But yeah, I hope you all have a good day, and if you want to see more of this, please subscribe and like.